for his views. I'm joined now by Peter McGuire from XM.com. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. Lots of reports yesterday about the U.S. and China making concessions to each other to be able to sign a deal sooner rather than later. One is cyber theft from the Americans and opening up the banking sector from the Chinese. Are we near a deal?
Well, I think we are, Rico, in some ways. We're moving towards it, and naturally, you know, there seems to be progression on both sides. I think that where President Trump's sitting at the moment, he's watered down some of those key elements, and in turn, he just wants a deal to be done over the foreseeable future. And that'll be interesting how it positions in Washington over the coming weeks.
But over the past months, banking and cyber theft have been a key issue in these ongoing negotiations. What made both sides, you think, concede to these sectors?
Well, I think that first off, you've got China wanting to, step forward with their $44 trillion, financial sector and open up more to the world. And the other side, of course, is you've got the US and Chinese stock markets having very, very strong rallies since Christmas. China up 35%, US up 21%. So I feel as though that where it's moving at the moment, there seems to be a growth projection and, of course, wanting to put a deal together. That seems to be the mantra coming from Washington and from China. Mm-hmm. And if they can water these down, naturally, I think they're moving closer to that target.
So the chief Chinese negotiator, Liu He, heads to Washington next week. Is this the end game of the negotiations?
I wouldn't be surprised if it may well be, but I wouldn't be surprised if it has another round after that. It's just a wait and see. There are so many moving parts, Rico, and it's just it's a continual talk. While they're talking and they haven't moved away from the table, then it's a good sign. But also the president's saying, as far as Trump, he's prepared. If they can't move closer to get a deal done, he will walk away.
And briefly, could it also fail because of the enforcement mechanisms and Iranian oil being a topic of discussion in the talks?
It may well be, but I think that the Saudis will come up to that. They'll be able to increase supply if there's any needed. As far as China, it may be a wild card in there, but that could be just one of the moving parts that needs to be worked through.
Thank you so much for your insights. Peter McGuire joining us from Sydney from XM.com.